And welcome back to Channel 6 Scoreboard. JD Williams here, joined by Steve Owens, radio announcer for the Sugar Bears over at KUCA. He's going to join us. We're going to talk a little bit more specific about Sugar Bear basketball, and let's get it started right off, Steve. Now, two big storylines coming into this year were, of course, Megan Herbert, who was executed about as we thought Megan Herbert has, double-double, averaging right now. But the other one was Coach Sandra Rushing coming in for Matt Daniel. And how do you think that's gone right now so far up to at this point?
So far, I think it's probably about as good as you could expect because she came in with a senior-laden team, 5 seniors, and then she added one of her own from Arkansas Fort Smith, Tracy Parsons. But her coaching style is completely different from Coach Matt Daniels. Both of them win, but her style is different. So, basically the whole portion of preseason was spent implementing her style, her getting used to the players that she did have, and then conversely the players getting used to her style and what she expects of them. So I would think right now a 13-6 record, 6-2 in league play in second place. Really can't ask much more, but luckily she had a bunch of senior leaders that could help her through this transition phase as well.
So you think her having all these seniors really actually helped her when, some of us around here are thinking, that would maybe hurt her. You've got this close group of girls, they've been with Coach Daniels all this year. So you think that actually helped her?
I think it has helped. I mean, you have a valid point that they're used to playing one way, but they're also used to each other. So their chemistry is where they can kind of play off one another. So when they figure out what she wants, they can still read and react from each other. And they're such a tight-knit group, and they know how to play the game that they know how to play it and figure out what she wants and perform on the court.
Right, and so we've already mentioned Megan Herbert, who's having an absolutely fantastic season. Courtney Duver, another one of those post players who's really, her and Herbert take a lot of the scoring and rebounding on themselves. Who else do you think needs to step up and maybe take some of that pressure off those two?
We've seen Desiree Rogers do it throughout the year, especially rebounding and defensively. Probably Brittany Gowans, which she did a great job last Saturday, hitting a last-second shot to send us into overtime and then hitting a couple big shots down the stretch. Those two seniors. And then Tracy Parsons, it's basically a senior team. I know Coach Rushing wants to see maybe Kelsey Buffkin and Jamaica Watkins continue to progress, a sophomore and a true freshman, gain some experience, so maybe they can help the overall depth of this team, which they're basically forced to do on the guard position. But really, we need better guard play. We've seen it. It's been at times up and down, and last week it was down one game, good the next. It's kind of the consistency she's wanted to see from some of the perimeter players and how they lead this team.
All right, and another player coming back, Micah Rice. What do you think she's going to do when she does get back from an injury? She may not come off, at her best first, but what do you think she's going to bring to this team?
That's still the wild card. We're hopeful we get her back. She's hopeful to get back. She's been cleared to practice. She got her knee brace. She's kind of working out lightly now. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks she can come back, but it'll be so close to the end of the year. Can she get really into playing shape? She would obviously bolster the lineup and give us a much-needed depth toward the end of the season, especially heading into postseason. But it's kind of one of those things. Will she be able to progress fast enough where she can get back into the lineup and actually help this team, or will she be a hindrance, or should she just maybe go ahead and call it a year, get the medical red shirt, and come back next year and help what will be a very, very young team through a tough season next year?
All right, and right now at the season, Sugar Bear's looking really good right now, really up there in Southland in really every statistical category. What are your projections for the rest of the regular season?
Well, it's going to be a grind the rest of the season. This Southland, basically from top to bottom, other than maybe the bottom two teams of Corpus Christi and a couple others there, it's anybody's regular season to win and tournament as well. Same Houston State leads. They've only been defeated once, and that was by McNeese State. Obviously, McNeese State swept last week on the road at Central Arkansas and Oral Roberts. No one's done that yet. That's a pretty good gauntlet right there. So, they were picked to win in the preseason. They won the last 2 tournaments. So they're led by the Baggett twins. They're sitting there as well. But Sam Houston State, us, Oral Roberts, we haven't talked much about them. They're the newcomers, but they're senior laden with an All-American guard and Kevy Looper. They're sitting 1 game back. 3 or 4 or 5, maybe even 5 teams still have a legitimate shot at winning this regular season and or even the conference tournament.
All right, and now you mentioned conference tournament. Let's jump into that. UCA went in #1 ranked. I know I said they were going to win it all. Had a lot of faith in them, thought a lot was going to happen. They ended up losing in the first round. What do you think right now for this? It's basically the same team if you look at it. A lot of the major contributors, exactly the same. What do you think they bring in this year?
A lot of experience, but then again, a lot of those teams that I mentioned that are at the top of the league, They have a lot of senior experience as well. I think it'll be one of those things, if we can get good guard play, we can pretty much count on our forwards and posts. Megan, Courtney, Desiree, even Chantel Moss has added a lot of depth down there this year. Can we get the guard playing? Can it sustain throughout a whole week in Katy to finally be able to host that trophy and get to the NCAA tournament?
All right, well, thank you so much. Steve Owens here from our friends over at KUCA. And remember, you can catch them over at KUCA 91.3 FM for all the Sugar Bear basketball. We'll kick it to break right now. Stay with us.